Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Tochi. You guys are welcome. Please subscribe, share this video and like it. You guys know how we do it. So in today's video, we'll be comparing living in Scotland and living in England. You guys know that the UK, or for those who don't know, the UK is divided into four countries: England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales. I've already compared living in Northern Ireland and living in England on my channel already. So today we'll be comparing living in England and living in Scotland. So don't go anywhere, all right? And our special guest is here. She stays in Scotland and I stay in England. So guys, watch this video to the end so you get all the information. Our guest will introduce herself and then we'll dive right into the video.
Hello guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming to this channel today. My name is Gloria Otiko, in case you don't know me, and like Tochi said, I reside in Scotland. I'm actually excited to be invited to this channel today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yes, in case you want to move to Scotland, please change your mind and come.
Okay, so guys, this video, after watching this video, you make up your mind whether you want to go to Scotland or you want to come here in England. All right. I know England will win anyway because England won the last round, but today. All right. So, Gloria, what would you say about accommodation and rent in Scotland?
Renting in Scotland, I would say, is not the cheapest because you can have it cheaper, but it's not the most expensive. It's just average because I've lived in Scotland a few years now, and you can, depend on where you're living, the closer you are to Edinburgh, the more expensive you have to pay, or the more expensive the accommodation will be. So what I always advise is go somewhere not too close to Edinburgh and you still have quality life. I will use, for instance, where I stay presently is a 3-bedroom house and I rent it for £660 with front and back garden. It's beautiful, lovely environment, but it's just for you to be able to find that place. You can have up to 1,000 plus, just depend on where and what your budget is and what comes. I know flats are way cheaper than houses, so just depend on what you want. But I would say it's not too expensive, but it can be cheaper. But it's something that is affordable.
Yeah, I think it's the same with England. Basically, just depends on where you live. In England, so yeah, £600 for a 3-bedroom house. It's not bad at all. It's not bad. I think you can get something like that here, especially in this area where I live. But the expensive ones are, of course, those that are closer to London and London itself. So yeah, it's almost the same thing. Okay, so when it comes to availability of jobs, what would you say? Would you say there are jobs in Scotland, especially for dependents and students? Would you say they are likely to get jobs easily in Scotland?
So I'm going to give it to England when it comes to finding jobs, especially for dependent or non-medical field, because of course there are jobs, but then you have to be living in maybe Edinburgh or in the city centers. But if you want jobs that are not white collar jobs, you would easily find they are like everywhere. But when it comes to industrial work, office jobs, I'll give it to England because the problem that most dependent have in Scotland is actually finding jobs, like white collar job, office jobs. So finding job in Scotland is not as easy as you will in England.
Okay, so you already said it yourself. So we won this round. Okay, so this is 2-1. Yeah, when it comes to jobs, it's easier to get jobs in England. It's easier, yeah. Let's now talk about house bills. Here, God, the bills are so much because you have to pay water bill, council tax, gas bill. In fact, by the time you pay all your house bills, then you add council tax to it, and every other thing. You find out that the cost of living in UK is just increasing every day. So is it the same with England? Do you guys pay council tax, water bill, and then every other house bill that you have to pay?
Yeah, so the difference here is we pay council tax, but what we pay in our council tax includes your water, includes your trash, and maintenance of the community and all those stuff. So we don't pay water bill separately. Our council tax is together and it's not too bad. Like presently, where I was staying before, it was about £113 a month for a 3 bedroom. So where I am just now is about 120. So to depend on your area, the number of your family, if you've got children, so you know you're going to be using more water, you're going to be using more of those stuff, so you pay more. When I was here alone, I had discounts. Then I was paying single occupancy discount. So you can get discount. It's not too expensive, and then we don't pay the water bill separately. So currently I pay about £130 a month for council tax, and that's everything inclusive. Like,
Wow,
you know,
that's
the water and
fair.
those other stuff. Yeah.
That's fair. We pay water bill separately and then pay council tax separately. Yeah, of course, council tax includes your trash and all those things, but water is not inclusive at all. Yeah.
I had the same mentality when I came. I remember when I came, when I rented my first place, I was minimizing. I don't want to use the water. I was being very careful. I do my laundry at night, so I was just being very careful. Once I discovered that they don't monitor what you use. It's just standard, and it's your council tax. If you use it or you don't use it, that's your loss. So it's together.
Wow, that's great. So that's really good for Scotland. It's not like that here.
That's two.
Yeah, that's two. Here, it depends on the arrangements you have. Here, you can pay as you use, or you can pay the standard. If you have a standard, it just depends on the house you're living and the agreements you have or the contracts you have. So you can pay, either you pay as you use, or you have a standard. Like when we were living before in a former house, we had like a standard rate of what I think it was £12 every month or thereabouts. But here now it's not like that. It's as you use. So whatever you use every month is what you pay for. And that's crazy, really, because now you have to measure the quantity of water you use and just be careful. Maybe when the kids are running the tap, you're like, no, go and turn off that tap. So yeah. Moving on, let's move to childcare, education for children, just basically everything that has to do with women and children. Maternity pay, pregnancy, childcare, children, education, and everything. What is it like in Scotland?
Right, let's start with maternity pay. Is just basically almost the same with England. It's just the way to be calculated. Maybe, we have Scotland, we always want to do something different from England. I think it's been a standard, but it's almost the same. So you're going to get, I have a video on maternity and everything. You're going to get your pay, you're going to get your leave, depend on your entitlements. That's basic. And then primary education starts from age 5. Before that, when your child is 3 years old, they can go to nursery. They'll give them hours, maybe 30 something hours a week, and they can go to school 3 days a week, depending on how you want it, how you want to spread your hours during the week, and that's free. And then from age 5, they go to primary, and it's free. Secondary is also free. It's also free, which is higher education. And where Scotland also have a point is when it comes to the university. I've said this on my channel, and some people were like, it's a lie, it's not possible, you pay 9,000 plus for university. But when you're in Scotland, if you've lived in Scotland continuously, you're a resident or you're a citizen for the past 3 years, your school fees is about 8,008. But Scottish government, it's called SAAS, I don't know the full meaning, they will pay for that. So you're basically going to, your first degree is free. But any other degree after the first one, your second degree, your master's, you're going to pay. So it's almost free up to university level for almost all courses.
Wow, so that's really nice.
Yeah, but you need to have been living in Scotland for the past 3 years at the time of application. So you can't just pick your bag and then just move over just to attend for free. But if you've been in Scotland, you get education for free.
Yeah, that's really nice. For here too, yeah, education for children is free from nursery to secondary. I'm not sure about the university one, except you're now a citizen. And then maternity pay is almost the same thing. If you're entitled to it, you get it. So you should have worked for a particular number of months for you to be entitled to maternity pay. And yeah, it's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
But I think where Scotland now wins is that part of the university fee? Because I'm not sure that applies to England. Like,
Even as a citizen
yeah.
in England, you still have to pay. Except even if you apply for is it bursary? There's something that they can fund you, you have to pay back. And if you're coming from any other part of the UK to Scotland, you have to pay, except you're a Scottish citizen and been living here for 3 years.
So now we'll talk about the friendliness of the people, acceptance of blacks, availability of blacks, cultural diversity, things around that. What is it like in Scotland?
So let's start with acceptance of black and availability of blacks. We don't have a lot of black people in Scotland. That is the standard, because so many of us, we Africans especially, we like our not comfort zone, but we like where we've known someone. For instance, when I was coming to Scotland, I had no clue whatsoever. I didn't know anything. I just picked my bag and I came to Scotland. But you see, so many people want to go to England because they know someone in England, and that is what we know. Even back home, they will think you're in London. Everybody thinks I'm in London, but we don't know the difference. So I have so many black people in England. That is true. In Scotland, there are black people, especially when you go to city centers like Edinburgh, because we like to study, so they're in schools. You see so many students. If you go to Glasgow, those places where there are universities, you tend to see more blacks a lot. But generally speaking, distribution wise, there are not a lot of black Africans in Scotland, but there are a few. And then when it comes to acceptance, I think Scottish people are very, very friendly. I've had lots of people over the years, even in my church. So many people, families that moved up here from England, I've not seen anyone that does not prefer living in Scotland. I've not seen any. They always say they prefer Scotland. Because Scottish people, they are very friendly. They have very good high sense of humor. I'm not saying there are no bad ones, and I'm not saying there's no racism. Definitely there are. It's definite. But it's not as high, it's not as aggressive. Of course, generally, racism in the UK generally is very subtle. So you're not going to know, but then they're very friendly. They would speak to you. Initially, they may not know how to approach you, but the way they understand that they can speak to you, they will come to you, they will speak to you, and they're very friendly. Very, very friendly, like really friendly. I can attest to that.
I think you've already compared it with England when you were speaking. It just depends on where you live in England, and yeah, like my city, people here are generally nice and friendly people. But some people complain of discrimination and all of that, but I haven't experienced it. And yeah, it just depends on the part of England where you live. And yeah, of course, blacks are everywhere, especially if you're in big cities. In fact, there are places you go to in England that you think that you're in your home country, because by the time you turn left, you see a black man, you turn right, you see a black man, you're like, what's happening? So yeah, England have lots of blacks, and compared to Scotland, yeah.
Yeah, like my former town where we from, we were the only black family in the whole community. We were the only black family in the school, anywhere we're the only blacks. And that didn't change anything. My children had friends, play dates, and we're just fine.
So does that affect how the children feel in school? Do they treat them differently because they're the only blacks around? Would you say it had any negative impact on your children?
No, because I've been lucky. My children are very outspoken, just like me. My especially my sons. My children actually generally they don't care, and because we don't, I've also trained them not to look out for the bad. You see, so my children, they've never complained. Actually, even coming here, they've never had any problem with anybody. If there's something that is wrong, it's going to be, they will phone and say your son has maybe done this, and we'll sort it out. It's not like, I don't think it's because they're black. I just think because maybe they're children. So my children has never complained about racism. They've had play dates. In fact, even my son is even invited back to the town for when the football club, he was in the poster. So I don't know. My children never, I don't know. Sometimes we even forget that we are black, although we know we are black, but it's just in your brain, I think. I think it's also your brain, depending on how you see it. So I don't always go out looking for racism. If I'm bad, you address me for being bad. It's not because I'm black. If I'm black, doesn't mean you now keep quiet when I've done something wrong. So my children has never complained about racism, and I've never seen them think they've experienced racism. They've never, I don't know. It's not even a topic we don't.
All right. So I think that's quite fair, but we're almost done. But generally, what would you advise anybody who wants to come to Scotland, or what would you advise anybody who is in a mix right now, thinking whether to move to Scotland or to move to England? What would your advice be generally?
So my advice on the first side will be, if you want Black community, if you're someone that loves friends, love party, love Owambes and the rest, go to England. And if you want maybe jobs where you can, I don't know how jobs are in England, I would say go to England. And if you want somewhere that is a bit warmer, go to England. Apart from that, if you want a very friendly place, very friendly, come to Scotland. If you want somewhere where you just feel you'll be unique and you don't have people in your business, you know, because that's the type of person I am. I like to be on my own. Like, I just have like my space. Come to Scotland, and for so many reasons, I think Scotland is really lovely. Apart from the fact that our weather is very bipolar, our weather is crazy. Like, our weather is crazy. In a day, it can be rainy, it can be sunny, it can be cold, it can be warm, it can be snowy in one day. So Scotland weather is crazy. But over time, you just get used to it. And that's what we talk about every day. Every Scottish person you see on the street will tell you, oh, the weather is so broad, the weather is this. And the English, if you're thinking of beginning to start speaking like you're from England, you forget it. When you come to Scotland, it won't work because the English is very different. You will not understand what they are saying, and they will not understand what you're saying for the first few years. That one is going to be your first battle. But with time, you start picking up, and you see that they're very funny and they're very lovely. If you want to, in fact, just come. And if you don't like it, I think you will like Scotland. I've not seen someone that does not like Scotland, except you don't like abroad generally. It's really beautiful up here. Very beautiful.
All right. Thank you very much for today. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Gloria Otiko is on YouTube as well. Please check her channel out and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.